Hi folks, this is going to be a really quick update on DNS Flag Day 2020. This is the follow-up from the DNS Flag Day 2019. This one, the short notes are that it's probably not going to make that much of a difference to you, but you will notice some changes, so do listen on. Not going to take questions at the end because this is a short update, but please do post questions afterwards in the IRC or in the social. So DNS Flag Day is going to be the 1st of October. That's the end of this month, and it will be implemented as new software is rolled out. So you won't see anything immediately, but you will see things as people start to install updated software. What we're tackling this time is IP fragmentation. So this is not DNS, I hear you say. Well, yes, it's not, except that DNS is a primary user of UDP, and UDP large packets over IP tend to result in IP fragmentation. The problem with IP fragmentation and large packets is that the fragmentation and reconstruction is a little bit flaky and unreliable, and researchers have found and are suggesting that on the whole it is to be avoided if possible. The way it affects DNS is that resolvers asking questions of authoritative servers have no idea how big a reply they're going to get back. If it's a very, very big reply, the authoritative server may send it in a very large UDP packet, UDP datagram, and it may get fragmented and reassembled and not arrive. And so that introduces delays and waiting and falling back to TCP a lot of the time anyway. So what we're trying to do, the DNS vendors and implementers, is try and tackle it from the DNS point of view. So what's changing is that from the Flag Day and from the new software, we're changing the default. Note that this is the default. You can still override the configuration, but we're changing the default size that a resolver advertises that it will accept when it sends a query to an authoritative server. And we're changing the default maximum size that an authoritative server will package the query response into the resolver. So how does this affect you? If you're an authoritative server, by default, when you upgrade, your maximum packet size is going to get smaller, which means that if you're in the habit of sending back large responses, you are going to, if you can't fit them into the packet, set the truncated bit when you send them back, which should mean that the resolver will then query again to you over TCP, so more TCP. You can, if you want to, override the default as an authoritative server. But bear in mind that the resolvers themselves are going to start asking with the flag set for smaller replies. So you're going to be forced by the resolvers that are querying you to reduce your replies and set the truncation bit and accept more TCP. Probably not going to be a lot of it, but there probably will be some. Resolvers, it's probably going to be a bit happier for you actually, because it may well be that a lot of the time you were getting large replies back and not receiving them, not a lot of the time, some of the time, and falling back to TCP anyway. Now you should be falling back to TCP a little bit quicker and getting responses through faster. Resolvers, you're a bit of a special case, because the other thing that's going to happen is that by default, when you are querying your providers of authoritative zone, sorry, resolvers? No, not resolvers. Authoritative servers, you have another special case, which is that when you are refreshing your zones, you're going to send a refresh query. And if that happens to come back larger, you might be doing a fallback to TCP sooner than, well, later than you expected. So you may want to do some individual configuration for that, but it's probably not going to be a big deal. The summary is, we don't know, but we don't think it's going to make a big effect on DNS operation, except potentially for the better. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, it does do that. Okay, further resources. There is the Flag Day that's got all the information you need, including long FAQs. And there is also our blog that ISC put out earlier this year that covers a bit more about what Bind is doing and in which versions. That's about it.